You're watching On Demand. Please check the closing time before trying to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Brenda Edwards, Colleen Nolan, and Olivia Atwood-Dack.
Welcome to your Monday's Loose Women. We're very disappointed, aren't we, audience? Because Colleen promised she would cartwheel onto the set.
You promised.
Well, yeah, same thing. We've got a bumper bank holiday show for you today. We're with you all the way through to 1:45. Plenty time for Colleen to perfect that cartwheel.
Stop, I can't cartwheel.
Right, here's what we've got coming up. How high up the pecking order do you place your pet? Are you guilty of treating your pooch like a baby? We are discussing our views on pet parents. And he claims his first UFO encounter happened when he was just 5 years of age. Mystic spoonbender Uri Geller will be telling us all about his love of the paranormal and when he thinks that aliens will land on Earth. Also on the show.
How simple is this today, actually?
Very simple. Easier than a normal shepherd's pie.
Yeah, Cole's treating us to another one of her delicious dishes. This week it is vegan shepherd's pie on the menu, so we can't wait for that. Looking forward to that. Now, first today, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has revealed plans to change the law so that dangerous offenders who commit the most heinous murders will face life behind bars with no chance of being released. Under new plans, whole life prison sentences will become the default punishment for sexual or sadistic murders, and judges will be required to impose whole life orders on the most depraved killers, this is the language that's being used, except in extremely limited circumstances. So what, Brenda, do you think of that message?
Well, I've always been confused as to why you call it life, but it's not life. If it's called life, it should be life. You know, there's no deterrent there if people know you're going to get this sentence and then it's your sentence to life, but then you get out after 10 years for good behaviour. Yeah. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who get out for good behaviour, that they have managed to rehabilitate themselves and they show remorse. But I just think that from the start, if it's life, it's life. Yeah. And that's what it should mean.
Yeah. Maybe the terminology needs to be made clearer, doesn't it? Because another couple of cases that are being quoted are Zara Alina and Sabina Nessa, and their murderers got life, and it was a minimum with, I think it was 38 and 36 years respectively, so that they had the possibility. I think what it is the possibility of freedom, you know.
If you've, you know, just for example, if you've murdered a child or several children, there should be no possibility. There's no possibility because that family have got a lifetime of pain, and I think that person should have that they should have that choice.
Yeah. I mean, I have a bit of a problem with it in that I just think that Rishi Sunak is kind of playing clickbait politics here a little bit. This is such an immensely complex area. You know, actually, he doesn't have the power to change the law. It has to go through Parliament. We have our judiciary who take these sentencing guidelines very seriously. They can be challenged if people feel that they're not necessary. I don't know if he's doing us any favours by, you know, pressing these triggers. Of course, I understand that people want to have appropriate sentences for people who commit heinous crimes. But whether rumbling people up like this is a particularly responsible thing to do, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I do agree with that. And I think another issue in terms of what Brenda's saying with life, what is life inside prison? Because I know you've been there, Colleen, but the images that we've been circulating online from this monster that killed all these babies is life is going to be, there's a library and you're going to go out for the day and there's this and that. So, and then that, I think, gets people ticked the wrong way because you think, well, hold on, that doesn't seem like much of a punishment.
Well, you say that, and I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then I went to visit a woman's prison, and I was actually speaking to some of the lifers. I went in their room, and I walked in, and it was like they had their own duvets, and they had a little plasma telly, and they had all the, you know, all the pictures up on the wall. And I actually said to them, I'm struggling to know why this is a deterrent, because this is nice. And they actually said to me, this is all we have. Their greatest time is when they get taken to court, because they look through the windows and they see people and they see trees and they went, this is us for the rest of our life.
Well, yeah, and when we put people in prison...
And it's locked.
The punishment is loss of liberty.
Yeah.
That is what it is loss of liberty.
And everything they own in that room, they have to work for. They work within the prison. They have to earn money in the prison.
But there are so many facts where people are going to prison for minor crimes. So it's the justice system, it all needs rehauling and relooking at, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. It is incredibly complex, the whole thing, isn't it? On to a story that continues to make the headlines. Spanish footballer Jenny Hermoso has said that she did not consent to be kissed on the lips by the Football Federation president, Luis Rubiales, during the Women's World Cup final trophy presentation. I think consent is the key word here, isn't it? And they're still disputing. This has been going on for more than a week, and we're having a statement and counter-statement. Rubiales saying, I don't deserve this manhunt. It was Jenny who picked me up. She's saying at no time was this consensual. And I think a lot of workplaces are now looking at the situation that they have there and thinking, well, can we prevent these situations happening? I mean, Olivia, should there be some kind of rule book in every workplace?
I don't think... Should it have to be written down, don't kiss people on the lips that aren't your partner? Do we need that in writing? I mean, that's, for me, it's just a no-brainer. But in terms of this situation with this football player, the minute she said, I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't like it, that's it. Apology and then some kind of action. The conversation ends there. Why is there a debate with him going, well, I didn't mean to cause offence, but you did? So apologise or step down.
I think if he'd have gone to her and said, look, I am so sorry, I didn't mean it to feel. I was just so wrapped up in the moment. You just won the World Cup. I was so excited, but I'm so sorry if it offended you. And then that would be the end of it. But the fact is, he's arguing against it. Yeah.
But, I mean, do you think when you start a job in a new organisation, there should be some kind of classes, Brenda, whereby everybody knows what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and then, you know, it's all out there at the beginning?
I don't think there should be classes. It's just another... I agree with what Olivia's saying. You should not have to have a class. You should know that.
But clearly you do.
Well, you know, I think, as I was on the show when we were talking about this first, and I think that you do get some people who abuse their power. People in power think that they can do this and get away with it because nobody's going to say anything. And that kind of is, you know, that's what's unacceptable. Should there be a class? If somebody's done something, then pull that person out. I don't necessarily want to be having a class, sitting in a class, when I know right from wrong. I'm not going to go up and kiss somebody in the lips that I don't know. Yeah. But I think people are too scared to actually, if it's whoever the cap fits, let them wear it and pull them out, rather than a big general, let's all have a class.
I agree. And also, I think everybody's individual, so what might offend you might not offend me, and vice versa. How do you learn classes on that? Do you know what I mean? I mean,
I suppose
what I don't understand is, we were at the height of our fame, like late 70s, 80s, and it was a terrible time for that, to be honest. You know, you did get guys coming up and pinching your bum or giving... But, you know, I just turn around and go, if you do that again, I'm going to knock your head off, mate.
Yeah, I get you, but having said that...
Why do I have to run somewhere and go...
Well, I
want him fired, or I want this and that.
I mean, I went into journalism when I was 22, and it was a pretty roughy-tufty world. And I had quite a few occasions where older men did very much overstep the mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at 22, I just did not have the confidence at that point to turn around and say, take a hike. They were my boss,
but that's one
and I was scared that I would lose my job. That's a guy abusing his power, probably to a lot of the women, and therefore all those women need to go and go, this is not acceptable. But you need to... I mean, I guess
instantly screaming at someone and asking them to lose their job because they happen to have, I don't know, smacked your bum or whatever. I just think that's too much. Like, just back off.
Well,
go away.
I mean, I think going back to the Spanish situation, it's different because now what is coming out, as this has been going on for a week, is that there are various instances going back a long time where a lot of the female footballers feel that their agency has been trampled on and that they have been very much sort of corralled. So I think this kiss has... taken the lid off a whole sort of situation whereby these women feel that they have not been given the power that they deserve. And that is often the case. I mean, going back to me at 22...
I'm terrified, Kay, though. I'm terrified that we're getting to a point where we're so terrified of everything soon, where there's going to be, you know... It's proven that hugging someone gives you the best serotonin and dopamine and all of those things. Well, I think we're so frightened now of even shaking hands, giving someone a kiss, giving someone a hug. I don't want it to get to a situation where we're all terrified to say anything or do anything because, you know, we could lose jobs or, you know, our life's ruined. Or...
I think what it comes back to is what Brenda says. It's about power. And it's about people knowing that they don't abuse their power rather than everyone getting sort of tied up in can I call you love, can I call you darling, or whatever. It's whether or not people feel intimidated by the way that you're behaving. And I think that's what we have to keep focusing on. Still to come, they say size doesn't matter. But what about time? Would you rekindle a relationship years after it ended? Find out what happened when one of us did just that. You all right, Brenda?
Yeah.
And how would you feel if your partner kept liking other people's social posts? Is it kindness or kind of crossing the line? We're debating that. See you soon. Welcome back. In just a moment, we're taking a trip down memory lane. Calm down, Brenda. And revealing our favourite decade. It's only our second time in the panel. Give the girl a break. Can you guess who picked the 80s? And world-famous spoon-bending sidekick Uri Geller is sharing his love of the paranormal and revealing the mysterious alien object given to him by John Lennon. Before all that, it is competition time. It's a good one. Kate Lawler is live from the Disney Dream, which is currently docked in La Rochelle, you know. Woohoo, Kate! How's the cruise going so far?
Oh, okay, it is magnificent. I'm having the best bank holiday Monday ever. I'm on the Disney Dream. Yep, you're right, we're in La Rochelle right now. We've been at sea since Saturday. Now, all the passengers board the ship here in the central lobby. If you look up, there is a chandelier, probably the biggest chandelier I've ever seen in my life. What a welcome you get on board this ship. And the reason I'm on this ship is to tell you about a fabulous competition. But before I do, we're going to say hello to cruise director Carly, who is in charge of all the entertainment. It's a bit of a high-pressure job, isn't it? How do you keep everyone entertained?
Well, you know, we want to make sure for the young at heart, they have the opportunity to fully immerse themselves and disconnect from the outside world and reconnect with each other, making those magical moments that will last a lifetime.
And we did. Last night, we watched Beauty and the Beast. Can I just say it was a fabulous show, so thank you very much for keeping us entertained. So, how do you fancy being on board this very ship? You plus 4 other family members, 5 in total, could be on the Disney Dream 4 nights next summer, sailing around Europe. You'll get a deluxe stateroom with your own veranda. All your onboard dining is included. $2,500 in spending money, plus £35,000 in tax-free cash. If that sounds right up your street, here are all the details of how you can enter.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY33 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 1st of September at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Good luck indeed. Right, it's Pirate Night themed dinner tonight, so I need to find myself an eye patch and some pirate get-up. Good luck, everybody. I wish you were here, girls. I really do.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Well, you need Brenda there. She'll provide the entertainment, won't you, Brenda? Yay!
I know. Brenda, I'm with you. I've been dancing to the song as well. Absolute quality tune. I love it.
Au revoir. Au revoir, Kate.
Honestly, such a tune.
Now, according to a new survey, men are more nostalgic than women, with a quarter preferring the 80s to the present day. So, I mean, Brenda, you love the 80s, don't you?
I do.
We can go off for a break now.
I know, let's go.
I don't know where they got that thing from saying that men are more nostalgic, because I love the fact that I've got a massive record vinyl collection, CDs, even tape cassettes. I've got a tape cassette player.
What do you do with them?
Play it. You play it, and then you put it on, and it's like, oh my gosh, I remember this song. When it comes on the radio, I love things like that, of course.
Yeah, no, but you know you don't need the cassette to hear that song.
Yeah, but you know what I like about my vinyl collection and my CD collection is that you can actually hold it and read about it, which you can't get in downloads. It's just a download, and then it's there, and then it's like, I want to know the information. I want to know the coggings of what made you write that song and where it came from. I think that's amazing.
See, I've got no interest in that. I just kind of move forward.
Half a person agreed with you.
It's like... It's like somebody clap with one hand.
I threw him a fish, to be honest.
Have you ever seen a tape cassette, Olivia?
So, I have. So I think we were trying to work it out, if I get this right. I am part of the generation, the only generation that basically had a teenagehood with and without the internet, with and without social media. Because I had all the videotapes, the cassettes, and all that, and then I think computers came in sort of later into my childhood and going on the internet and Bebo and MySpace, but we didn't have it on our phones. So I feel. I'm looking when I meet young girls and stuff out and I'm out and about and they ask to take selfies, and the way they take a picture and the way they examine themselves after they take the picture, they'll go, oh, I look ugly, or put a filter on it. I think, God, when I was your age, I would never have took a picture and thought I looked bad, because I had no point of reference like that. We would take a digital camera out to a nightclub and upload 200 photos onto Facebook and not look at a single one before, and I thought that was great.
God, that's so interesting. So that's 90s, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I always think it's further back than that, because I totally relate to that. If I look back, if I'm showing my girls, like, photographs of me in my teenage years, I mean, oh, my God, we all look so bad. I mean, it's like hair's like this, the teeth are like that, the glasses are like that.
They miss that stage now. They go straight to pristine.
Straight to groomed. But I thought you would be part of the kind of groomed generation.
I was a hot mess. Like, did all my own hair colour, like, multicoloured clothes, groovy chic, all that stuff. Yeah, it's really innocent. I mean, it did change quite quickly, but...
So do you get quite nostalgic for that?
Yeah, I do, but I think there's also, on TikTok and Instagram at the moment, there's a bit of a trend at the minute. I think we call them Gen Z. They're obsessed with 90s stuff. Like, there's a girl, she reads, like, through the Argos catalogue, and it's kind of a bit of a joke. But I think, oh, my God, the Argos catalogue used to... Other brands are available. You used to circle, at Christmas.
I love that.
Yeah, like, just little things like that I do. When I see something pop up, it's nice, isn't it?
I know. I know, of course, the 1940s was tough, wasn't it? So let's move on. Social media can be a handy tool when it comes to staying in touch with friends or snipping. Don't be happy.
Don't stay in touch with me.
On our favourites list, but can it spell trouble in a romantic's life? A recent survey has reported that 40% of couples felt jealous or insecure due to the presence of social media in their relationship. Well, Olivia, you're the social media queen here. Would you get jealous if Brad was liking other women's posts? Let's go straight for it.
I was just thinking about, I'm going to die on this hill, OK, and people can call me petty and mature. It's a no-like zone in my house. You don't like girls' photos.
Not even one?
No.
Not even one. Not even yours, Brenda.
You like it with your eyes and your mind, and in whatever you need to do, you don't need to let her know that you like it. I think.
But if it's a friend of yours, a girlfriend of both of you, and
that's different. That's different.
In a bikini.
A woman that he doesn't know. And now I'm saying this, I'm thinking someone out there's going to find a picture he's liked, and I'm going to be sitting going, yeah, my husband doesn't like women's photos. Then you're going to get sent through. But yeah, I think it just causes. I think it spells trouble. I don't think it's very respectful, if I'm honest, and I don't care if people think that's, petty. I think that it's how that person receives you liking it. There's a whole, subtext, I think, to likings and comments.
I'm so glad I'm too old for that.
It's so boring, but...
What, that no one likes you?
Yeah. Well, no, the whole, because I wouldn't know who'd liked what. Ian hasn't a blooming clue. I don't even look to see who's liked pictures and stuff. So my brain just isn't going to train that way. Do you look at it, Colleen? Can I take that as a no?
No. I do understand the liking. I do like when someone...
But what I'm saying is, do you say, oh, so-and-so's liked that 5 times and I've liked this 5 times?
No, I don't read who's liked. You see how many have liked a picture, but I don't individually look at who it is or search for someone. But the whole social media thing gets on my nerves, like the whole phone thing anyway. I mean, I'm always... The thing with me now is all I do on my phone is play games.
Right.
And people go, can you put your phone down and listen to me? And I'm like, I've just got to beat this level and then I'll be fine. But if my other half's doing it and I've finished my game and he's playing a game, I go like that on his phone and ruin his game because I want attention.
Oh, right, so you're petty and immature, really?
Yes.
That's 2 of you now.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily... I'm not fussed about how many likes and who likes what and whatever. It's like what you want. I think there has to be a level of trust there with that person. But if you're gonna like lots of things and it comes to my attention that you're liking lots of things, then I'll just find something to like that's in the same kind of vein.
We're really good for it today,
and then
girls.
we'll have that
tit for
conversation.
tat.
Well, yeah, a bit of tit for tat. But for me, if you're... My thing is, if you're on the phone and we're supposed to meet up, like, we have meetings all the time when we meet up, and I'm like, OK, I'm going to have a meeting, and it's going to be this long, and Colleen's like, well, I'm going to have a meeting as well at the same time, and then
she's playing Candy Crush.
But then when you're in the room with me, be in the room with me. Don't be on your watch looking, don't be watch clocking. If you've got somewhere else you need to be, then go there, but don't entertain me while you're on the phone. I don't like that sort of thing. I like when phones were just phones.
But if you see somebody that's gorgeous on social media or whatever, I've liked people like that now.
Like it away. Yeah.
I've pressed like because I think you look fabulous.
You've suddenly just woken up, haven't you?
Yeah, I zoned out. I zoned out about 3 minutes ago, but I'm back in the room.
I think it's about how that you have to have your own rules for your own situation, don't you? Like I wouldn't like a picture of a, you know, really hunky guy that I don't know. Because I think that he would...
I do.
I think that I was making a move. I don't know, I think he'd think that I was...
It's funny you should say that, because I've just woken up as well. There's... I shouldn't say this, but it's this young man that comes up on my social media, and, I mean, he's a fine figure of a young man, and so when his photograph comes out, I go, oh, I like that.
Yeah, I do.
And I don't think there's anything bad about that. He doesn't know who I am. I don't know who he is.
You're not going to meet him.
Ian doesn't know how to work a phone.
Who you are now.
Well, he knows you are.
No, he's chairman or something.
Would you be jealous if Ian did that?
Well, he just wouldn't.
Oh, you see, don't take it for granted like that.
I might get caught out here, might I?
Yeah, you will, because I'll show you how many pictures you liked of mine.
Oh. no, definitely not, because he promised me he's not on OnlyFans. So he hasn't liked any of those. Still to come. Self-proclaimed psychic Uri Geller joins us after the break to discuss his love of the paranormal, plus revealing how long he thinks it will be before aliens land on this earth. We'll see you after this.
Tomorrow, he's one of the biggest-selling British artists of all time. The legendary Sir Cliff Richard joins the Loose Women. Reflecting on his incredible 6-decade career, a life in the limelight and why he has no plans to slow down. Sir Cliff Richard, tomorrow at 12:30 on Loose Women.
Welcome back to your Monday's Loose Women, keeping you company all the way through to 1:45 today. It's Colleen Nolan, Olivia Atwood, Brenda Edwards and me, Kea. Still to come, are you a pushover when it comes to your pets? Find out which one of us has not only given their cat their own sofa, but their own room. That's not going to be difficult to work out, is it? And she's a lady of many talents. Cole is back in the kitchen.
Oh, I didn't meet them.
Oh, showing you how to make her... Oh, it looks as if you're having a riot there. You're making delicious vegan shepherd's pie. Nice. Looking forward to that. It's time for today's guest, and he is the spoon-bending phenomenon who has been wowing us with his illusions since the 70s. But now self-proclaimed psychic and mystifier, Uri Geller claims he knows exactly when aliens are going to land on Earth. But will they come in peace? Uri joins us now live from Israel. Hi, Uri, how are you?
Hey, Kay, Colleen, Olivia and Brenda, it's fantastic to be on your show again. And yes, I'm in the Holy Land in Israel, and I'm standing in my museum. And if you can see the car behind me, that's a Cadillac with 2,600 spoons, all from very famous people. Unbelievable. You won't believe who sent me a spoon. Putin sent me a spoon. I got Putin's spoon on my Cadillac.
Vladimir Putin sent you a spoon?
Shippy, bring me the photo, please. I'll show you a photo. He didn't bring it to me. I was sent the spoon, and here it is. I wasn't planning to show it. There it is.
Wow.
I'd have sent that straight back.
Well, I knew this was going to be an unusual interview, but I didn't know it was going to be this unusual. Uri, tell us about aliens landing on Earth. When do you think it's going to happen?
Well, OK, but I want to backtrack a little because there are so many whistleblowers now telling the world that aliens exist and UFO exists and UFOs crash on our planet. For instance, you know, the former Israeli space security chief, whose name is Haim Eshed, he says extraterrestrials exist. My friend, Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, he openly said that UFOs crashed and there are bodies. Unbelievable. A very high-ranking professor from Harvard University, Avi Loeb, who is an Israeli, he says that extraterrestrials visited us. But the most mind-blowing confession comes from an American, David Grouch, who is actually a former military official, who says that there are non-human vehicles on our planet and their bodies, remains of bodies that were found. I put a time frame of, I would say, between 5 to 15 years, there will be a landing, a public landing. I just hope it happens on the White Lawn of the White House or somewhere near the Eiffel Tower. But putting all that aside, I have seen with my own eyes aliens, with my own eyes in NASA. If you would like me to tell you how, just ask me the question.
How?
All right. Edgar Mitchell, who was the sixth man to walk on the moon, says to me one day, Uri, there's somebody in NASA that wants to meet you. His name is Dr. Werner von Braun. What? Dr. Werner von Braun was an ex-Nazi. He built the V2 that fell in London, killing hundreds, maybe thousands of people. But Kennedy brought him to America to use his brains. Without Dr. Werner von Braun, the Americans would have not landed on the moon. So I go out to NASA to meet him. He takes me into his personal office, opens a safe door, pulls out a piece of metal. I've never seen such a color. It looked like it was breathing. He says to me, Uri, place your palm on this piece of metal. Tell me what you feel. I place my palm of my hand on that piece and I tell him immediately, Werner, this is not from here. And he says to me, you're all right. Now follow me. He takes me out to the car park. And by the way, my brother-in-law is with me, and I have a Minox spy camera that I got from the CIA. And I tell Shippy, you've got to take photographs, otherwise nobody will believe me. He tells me, sit next to me. We enter his limousine, and he tells his driver to drive. We arrive to a huge concrete building. There's nothing written on the building. A soldier opens the door. We descend into the abyss of the building. We go down 3 or 4 flights. He tells me, put this Antarctica coat on. There are orange Antarctica coats on hooks in the corridor with NASA logo. I put it on, he puts one on, and then, girls, he leads me to a huge refrigerator room. He opens a door. We walk into this massive fridge, huge, and there I see alien bodies. They're all cased in kind of glass coffins. I mean, you can imagine, I faint. You know, all my life I believed in extraterrestrials. Since I'm 5 years old, I believe in UFOs.
Did you take a
but
picture
this is
then, Uri?
a different ballgame.
Uri, did you take a picture of them?
The picture is going to come out soon.
Why soon? Why not now?
Now?
I want to see it now.
Because there are red lines. There are red lines.
Yuri, how do you deal with the critics and people that dispute your claims? How do you deal with that?
Oh, as long as I spell my name correctly, Uri Geller, I embrace them. Hey, there will always be skeptics who won't believe. Just get on my Twitter account, the Uri Geller. I have 4 million views when I post something about aliens. Most people believe in UFOs. There are millions of people who have seen things in the skies they have no explanation to. But evidence is beginning to seep out now. The Americans, overall, America is hiding alien technology. And I'll tell you why. This is my opinion. Because they are trying to weaponize alien information, sophisticated technology. They want to be superior over the Russians, over the Chinese.
We have to be very, very careful with such, claims, which can be seen to be alarmist, particularly if they're not presented with evidence, And if you're saying that you had a photograph, then surely it would be reasonable for people to expect for you to produce that photograph.
Well, first of all, I did produce the photographs of me and Dr. Werner von Braun. Just get on my website, urigeller.com.
Yeah, but
or
that's
get on
not
my
proving
Twitter account.
alien life, Uri, to be fair, is it? That's you and a guy.
I understand you, but listen, some of these whistleblowers are afraid for their lives. I just read the newspapers. I mean, here I have an article from The Guardian. US urged to reveal UFO evidence after claim that it has intact alien vehicles.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's all going to come out.
we really look forward to seeing that evidence, Uri, because obviously that would give weight to everything that you've told us. But you will understand, until we see it, then people are still going to be sceptical. But it has been so interesting speaking to you. Thank you very much. That's Uri Geller there,
Bless you all.
who's in Israel. Still to come, how long would you be willing to wait for love? We're debating if relationship breaks lead to devotion or destruction. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. Still to come, do you let your furry friend sleep on the bed? And are you a strict pet parent? Some strong opinions on that one. And we're discussing relationship advice and who we turn to when we need some good old tough love. Right now, if you haven't watched the finale episode and Just Like That season 2 yet, now Brenda, I know you're upset about this, so cover your ears, and everyone else can cover their ears. Brenda does not want us to do a spoiler here. La 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 la. So, following Aidan's 14-year-old son's car accident, he visits Carrie to break off their relationship, but not forever. Take a look. Don't look, Brenda. Take a look.
Just give me some time.
How much time?
Till Wyatt's out of his teens.
That's 6 years.
It's 5. His birthday's next week. It's only 5 years. Remember on Valentine's Day when I said 10 years went by like... 5 years will go by like...
Are you gonna snap them?
Oh, I did. It happened so fast, your eyes didn't even detect it. That's 5 years.
Oh, well, will Carrie wait for Aidan? Brenda, you're OK now, you're fine. You're OK, there you go, she's back.
Oh, spoiler alert.
5 years, that's a big ask, isn't it? Olivia, what was the sort of pattern with you and Brad? Did you have kind of a break before you went into...
Welcome to Liz. Nothing safe.
Well, because Brenda doesn't want to talk about Carrie and Aidan, that's the thing.
And I know because I'm watching it. That's the only reason. But I'm into that topic.
You like Love Island, so you would like this.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a misconception that we kind of waited for each other. That definitely wasn't the case on my side. We broke up, we had a big disagreement. I'd already turned down Love Island Series 2, so when Love Island Series 3 rang, I was like, right, I'm definitely going now because...
And how long had you been going out at this stage?
4 or 5 months. You know, we were semi-serious, but there was definitely some grey area, should we call it, for daytime television.
Okay.
And so we left it at that. I went to Love Island, I was like, right, I'm done. And I was like, I'm never going back there. Like, the door is closed. You know, he's since said to me the door was never closed for him. He was always holding out hope. And he actually, I don't know if I've ever told this before, but he messaged me like 2 days after I came out of the villa off someone else's phone, being like, we're not done, it will never be done. Very dramatic and romantic until we're back together. And I was just like, this guy, honestly, is like a dog with a bone. But
so you weren't sort of thinking, oh, he's the one?
No, because I ended and left the relationship to go on Love Island with good reasons. Like, I thought, no, like, I'm not getting involved in that kind of relationship. Like, I want something more, you know, serious and all that stuff. But it turns out that, you know, if I hadn't gone on the show, we hadn't had that break, we 100% would not be together now and married. No way. Because he's a different person. I'm a very different person.
Right.
90% of the time. So we just had time to kind of realise, I think, what we actually meant to each other and what we wanted, time to mature.
Which I think is great, but it didn't mean one of you was sitting around waiting.
Oh, and he had a lovely time when I was on Love Island. Yeah, that's the other thing to clear up as well. You know, he was like to me, I'm waiting for you. I'm like, Not alone, though, really, as the stuff I found in your bedroom would suggest, okay? But, it wasn't like a sitting, I'm just, like, going to watch you date someone else while I do nothing. Yeah, he was kind of holding out hope and always kind of would extend out to me, you know, hoping.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, he always, you know, wasn't lonely.
Yeah.
I do believe, you know, I'm that romantic fairy tale, whatever I always say. I do believe in, you know, you could have the right person and the wrong time.
Yeah.
And so I kind of look at it as, Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
That's a perfect one for me. I'm not going to give any spoilers just in case, like me, I have seen it, but if you haven't. But it's a fabulous film that is exactly about this. Oh, spoiler alert. But, you know, I like that fact that you know, it could be work, it could be whatever reason that it's not ready for you at the time. Or, as you say, life lessons is a big one of I'm just not ready yet, or I'm just not mature yet, or I want to do other things before I settle down. So I see nothing wrong in just, you know, you keep in touch and, you know, you find out how that person's getting on and you like their picture.
Yeah, but that's being kind of open-minded, isn't it? Rather than asking somebody to wait for you.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that actually means. But
that's like me going on Love Island and saying, I was going to do this show real quick, wait for me, yeah? Like, that just doesn't work, and I'd hope that he would... I mean, he would have told me to get stuffed. Like, I mean... I would.
But that's like when you go to Casa Amor on Love Island and, you know, you say to that person, wait for me, I'm going to be here, you better come back in here single. And then, you know, I think...
one day.
Well, yeah, but, you know,
There's lots of people have rekindled. Alex says, my first love and I sadly parted... You're going to love this. Brenda loves these kind of stories. Sadly parted ways 24 years ago, and now, years later, I have the love of my life back. It was definitely worth waiting for. See, you like that idea, don't you? We've got Dawn as well. She says, I did, I waited. He ended up dumping me anyway. And
that's the
I wouldn't make that
worry.
mistake again. Well, this is
Imagine
something...
waiting 5 years, and at 5 years he goes, actually, no, I don't. I've moved on.
Well, that's
You've
it. I know
wasted
it's a
5
spoiler
years.
for you, Brenda, but Stephanie's saying it depends on the situation. Carrie is 56. Who'd want to waste the last part of your life? That's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
Whoa!
Waiting for somebody who in those 5 years might change their mind.
Yeah, see, that's the risk, isn't it? But I'm one of these that if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yes.
Whenever it is.
What's for you won't
Whatever
pass
obstacles, if you're meant to be, you will be.
Yeah. What's for you won't be Staying on the subject of love, it has been reported that Grime star Stormzy is back together with TV presenter Maya Jama 4 years after their initial split. And apparently it's all thanks to Stormzy's mum, who motivated him to make amends with Maya. It's funny because you mentioned Love Island there, Brenda. You were saying that you take love advice from Love Island.
Well, when I say take love advice, I look at it and, you know, I watch it and my daughter watch it. We both watch it. And I enjoy watching how the young ladies can... When I say conduct themselves, I'm talking about their openness and their strong... I'm quite a chickeny person. I wouldn't confront someone and say, oh, you did this and da-da-da-da-da. I would just not say anything. I'll just take myself out of it. Whereas they actually confront it. You did this, answer for what you're doing, and I respect that. And it kind of gives me a little bit of strength to say, well, actually, no, I don't agree with that. And my daughter, only last week, she says, Mummy, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have somebody to treat you right. And I spent a lot of time not thinking that I do deserve that. So it's nice to watch things like that and see I'm not on my own.
Well, it's interesting, too, there's role reversal, isn't it? Because we're saying that you take advice from your mum, whereas you're taking advice from your daughter.
Well, she's... You know, the world now is totally different to how it was when I couldn't say boo to a goose. I didn't even have a boyfriend until I was 18 anyway, so everything's happening much younger now.
Well, I also think as well, when I was growing up, the one thing you didn't talk to your parents about really was anything to do, in a way, with love or heartbreak or sex or anything like that, because they were just didn't.
But your boys talk to you about that stuff openly, don't they?
Because I realised growing up that I missed that. I wanted to be able to talk to someone I loved and trusted as much as that. So I made it a thing where my kids can talk to me about anything. But more importantly, in the last year or two, they're the ones that have given me the best advice about how I move forward. You know, when I started on the dating scene again and all of that, and I was like, oh, but I don't know, and what if this person... And I remember Jake, actually, my middle son, saying, Mum, how do you expect people to love you until you know how to learn to love yourself? You have to love yourself.
Yeah.
And they were right, because like you said, there was times when I didn't, you know. So I learned a lot from them. But we discuss everything. They've come to me, you know, for advice on relationships, you know, intimate or just, you know, relationship as in we've had a row. And yeah, I think I love getting advice from them. And I love the fact that they can talk. Don't get me wrong, sometimes they talk to me and I go, really?
Too much information.
Too much information, yeah, but
I feel like it's a good thing. Mums with sons, for their son talking to their mother, is who else they're going to have that kind of deep conversation with. They don't typically talk to their mates like that. Whereas, you know, in my girlfriend group, it's, you know, it's like a therapy session 24 hours a day.
Girls talk about
24 hours on the clock go, you know, just about basically taking it in turns who's going to be, like, most crazy this day, and then, well, right, I'm going to lead the ship today, and then I'm going to take your advice, but I'm not, because I'm going to do the complete opposite and come back and cry when it's all gone wrong. But, yeah, with boys, they don't talk to their mates like that. They don't. Well, at least I know my husband doesn't. So I think, you know, having a female opinion is really important if they have someone they can ask.
But also, I mean, are you really looking for advice, you know, when you're doing all that talking through and stuff? Or are you just looking for people
just want
to listen to you and just get it outside of you? And then
That's why I think it's better sometimes to talk to friends rather than family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because family will always be on your side, whereas you want someone there who isn't on either side, really.
No.
Like you said, just listen. You know, I've got a friend who she loved people when I loved them and hated them when I hated them.
See, that's the perfect way to do it.
But she still remained my friend, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's
I mean, I like to think, well, myself and Colin, we have a lot of conversations about relationships and things when we were on the app. But I did take her advice because there was life experiences that Colin had had.
What was Colleen's best
I'm
bit
not
of
going
advice?
into that, but
Come on, what's Colleen's best bit of advice?
Leave him out. Don't go with him. But my thing is, I would get that advice and I'd still not listen. So I am that person that, if you tell me, I'm asking you and you give me the advice and I still don't take it, but then I live and learn afterwards. And I'm like, I wish I'd have listened to you. So
but
when you've got feelings for someone, it's hard to take.
Yeah, and it's like you say, Olivia, you're not really looking for advice.
No.
I mean, you kind of start off that conversation, don't you? But you're just saying, listen to me, you know, hear me out.
Whereas I think your mums and siblings probably would get more frustrated with you. I told you not to go back there. Why haven't you listened to? Where's your friends? Like, yeah, I know.
Okay, as long as you're happy.
You're going to get hurt, but I'll be here when you do kind of vibe.
Yeah, absolutely, that is it. Still to come, Colleen's back in the kitchen with daughter Kira. In the latest of her new series, she's cooking up her delicious comfort pie. We'll be giving it a try, of course. And are you guilty of treating your pet like a baby? Is there anything wrong with calling your furry friend your child? Strong opinions on that. See you after this. On Wednesday, 5 years on from the death of his young son, Hollywood star Rob Delaney joins Loose Women to talk about love, loss and fatherhood, and his experience writing the unflinching and deeply personal memoir which became a bestseller. Rob Delaney, Wednesday on Loose Women. Hello again, still to come, we're going to be digging into Cole's comfort pie in just a bit. And she's going to be showing us how to make her simple and delicious vegan shepherd's pie. I hope Kira's in charge, is she?
She has to be.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect for tonight's dinner. But it's competition time first, and Kate is live from France on board the Disney Dream. She's got some special guests with her as well. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kay. I do indeed have some special guests with me. I'm living my cruise ship dream right now and with the captains of the ship. Please say hello to Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie, who are also my new best friends because they've basically been babysitting Noah, my daughter, for the entire time. Guys, can you give the viewers a lovely wave at home? Thank you so much. Let me tell you about this fantastic competition that could see you and your family on board the Disney Dream next August, setting sail from Southampton. 5 of you will be enjoying all this ship has to offer. Not only that, we're throwing in $2,500 in onboard spending to spend on whatever you like. And the shops here are incredible, I can tell you that. All your onboard dining and entertainment is included. You'll stay in a fantastic stateroom with a veranda. Say hello to Mickey and Minnie behind me while I tell everyone about this competition. I love working with my daughter. Oh, my goodness me. $2,500 in onboard spending and £35,000 in tax-free cash. A prize package worth over £40,000. What more could you ask for? It only takes one entry, so be quick as lines close on Friday. Here are all the details you need to enter our fabulous competition. Thank you, guys. Listen, if ever I need you for babysitting duties, do you mind getting off board this ship and coming to me? I live in North London. Yeah? I think that's a yes. Yes, darling. Say lines
For another
close,
chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY33 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 1st of September at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Good luck indeed. Right, I think it's time we had a group hug. Noah, come on, group hug. Good luck, everyone. Pick up that phone and get entering. Mickey, Minnie, I love you. Please, can I take you home? Let's go. Come on, you're coming home with me. Let's go.
We want more of your little one, Kate. Isn't she gorgeous?
She did so well then.
Oh, she was good. I love that. It's just that. The model and presenter Vogue Williams has revealed that her dog Winston is lazy. Oh, and she blames it on her pet parenting style. Speaking on her podcast, she says he mopes around the house, only gives cuddles when it suits him, and he doesn't do much. Taking it a bit out of context there, but it does beg the question, what kind of pet parent are you, Brenda? I'm nervous to even ask you this question. Has this giant cat arrived yet, by the way?
No, because no, she's coming in a couple of weeks' time.
Right, just waiting till she grows a bit.
No, I'm just waiting to get her room ready.
Her room?
Her room ready, OK.
Well, I've already got...
cats, aren't
yeah,
they?
they're
Have to
house
have some
cats.
room.
Both of my rag dolls are house cats. They don't go out.
But that doesn't mean you give them the house, Brenda.
Well, I'm giving them a room because that's Paddy and Temper. But as I've said, Tanisha is allergic. So getting a third cat, she's allowed me to get a third cat, but I want to sort of be, you know, sensible for her. So they're going to get a room where they'll have their house, they'll have their own sofa and everything, because I am a strict pet parent in that I don't allow them to go up on my work surfaces when I'm preparing my food or my dining table. And if I have a special blanket for them. If they want to come up on my bed, if I open the door to let them in, because I sleep with my door closed, if I let them in, then they just go on the blanket, not on the actual bed. They go on that top. And they know to do that. But I do cradle them like a baby, because, you know, they're my little
Do you sing to them?
I sing to them and they talk to me back. I've shown many videos. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm enjoying the moment.
And then I rock them and I sing to them.
You've got to give the love. Exactly. You've got to... And when they follow... Because everybody says cats don't do as they're told. They do. And when they do, I want to reward my babies.
My babies.
My babies.
My babies. You've got dogs, haven't you, Olivia? Are they your babies?
They're not my babies. I do have a slight problem with the whole, like, mum, dad, dog thing. I don't know what it is. It gives me the ick. In true Love Island style. It's something about it just gives me the ick. But I am obviously a massive dog person, obsessed with my dogs. But I've got two big rescue dogs. There's Lolly. And she's a rescue working Romanian Shepherd. So they are, you know, big and they're strong and their personalities to match. So with those kind of dogs, they do need, like, black and white. If you give them grey, that's where the chaos. They need to know the boundaries, and then consistency is key. But what I especially love for me is I work with an amazing dog behaviourist. We do all this stuff, rehabilitated Lola from being on the streets, Stitch was also a rescue, and then Brad comes home from football and just does the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So it's such a really good time I spent doing all the training and telling them not to jump up, and then he teaches them to jump onto his chest and do stuff like that. So you need consistency, but it's hard if not everyone in the house
You have to stick to it, don't you?
on the vibe, yeah.
Did you not say that your dog behaviourist was actually training you?
Yes.
Yeah.
He actually said that.
Yeah.
When
Can
he
you set
came
up a beg yet?
I set up a dog behaviourist to come round. I thought, these dogs need sorting out. And he spent about 30 minutes watching them all, and then he turned around and went, I'm here to train you, not the dogs, because it's all your fault. And it's going well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do anything for a biscuit now. Anything. It's really difficult, though, because it's like you said, if it was just you in the house with the dogs, you could you know, do it all the time. But when you're in a busy household, you kind of, everyone's meant to follow the rules, and it's really hard. But certain things that he's taught me is good. But I mean, you know, I'd like to say I'm that person where the dog knows my animals know their place. But no, I'm not.
Do they sleep in the bed? That's always
So
the thing
the other
that
night I
people
was
ask.
in bed. I had 3 dogs, 2 cats.
6 men.
No, just one man who actually went, I bet you're really pleased we met, aren't you? And I turned around and he had a cat on his chest, like that, and then a boxer, and then, you know, a 3-legged Yorkie, and it all hell broke loose. But that's just the way I am. You know, I do love them, but I'm not a pet as in, you know, my sister used to have special songs for them, and, you know, I'm not that. I realise that they're animals, but I've got goats as well, you know, Dave. I mean, Dave is a nightmare.
But we don't have time for Dave, sadly.
No.
Because it is now time for the 3rd and final instalment of our new cooking series, courtesy of Chef Cole.
Oh?
Not me. Chef Cole is back at home in her kitchen alongside daughter Kira, who thankfully is in charge, and they are rustling up another tasty treat. It is, I'll let you introduce it.
It's Cole's Comfort Pie.
Welcome to our home. Come on in.
As you know, I'm used to dishing out opinions on the panel, but I thought I'd give you a taste of something different and open up my home and share the food that has changed my life. I went vegan 3 years ago. Now, I know you're all rolling your eyes, it's not for everyone, but honestly, I feel so much healthier, and my daughter Kira has joined me on the journey.
This is Kira, by the way, my daughter, in case you haven't seen her before. We're from the north, and when it gets this time of year, we always like a good hearty meal.
And my favourite one of all time is the one we're going to do for you now. I mean, we don't even need wine for this section, but I poured a glass already because I'm stressed. First of all, what's that?
Salt and pepper. Put it down.
And that's why she doesn't let me cook in the kitchen. So how simple is this to do, actually?
Very simple. Easier than a normal shepherd's pie.
Simple for someone as simple as me.
Chop this onion first. You're the sous chef.
Oh, she's getting right on the nerves already.
You don't go all the way through.
But what is good about this shepherd's pie is, seriously, you've probably got most of this stuff lying about already that you've used. You can add any fingertip to this recipe.
We haven't got an iron to press our clothes, but we've got a garlic press. It's all about trial and error, and we're learning along the way, and that's what the dog's trying to get out.
Trial and error. Add your own bits.
Trial and error, that's what we should be called. Now, I'll just dry my eyes from the onions. Kira, what are you doing?
I'm cooking them down for about 10 minutes.
Just a bit emotional. Chuck that in there. Oh, I love garlic.
2 teaspoons of thyme.
You trusting me with that?
Sure. Then we need red wine, teaspoon of paprika, and then veg stock. Put all of the lentils in.
The good thing about the lentils is you can get them at any supermarket, can't you?
Yeah, you can get them in cans really cheap. Teaspoon of soy sauce.
Done that much quicker.
Worcestershire sauce. While this cooks, we need to make the potatoes. Prep the potatoes.
What I normally do with the mash is, I'd like to say I use a tiny bit of vegan butter, but I don't. I use all of the vegan butter. People always say, what is it about your mash? Why do I like it? I just keep mashing, basically, till it's like soft clouds.
Why are you making that look so difficult?
Because it is. I'm doing it in a funny bowl.
You can add a little bit of vegan milk.
We also add in, Kira always adds in, sometimes I don't because I'm lazy, but Kira always adds in, what's this?
Nutritional yeast.
Nutritional yeast, which is nutritional.
It adds a cheesy flavour.
This is why in the last 3 years, honestly, maybe nearly 4 years, I guess, I've never been healthier.
And we've also added cauliflower to add some nutrients.
You've added cauliflower?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering why my wrist is breaking, Kira.
I'd let it cool for a bit so it doesn't sink. And then just go around the outside first.
So we pop it in the oven, or whatever oven you've got.
Guys.
Big mouthful.
It's too hot. Wow. It's so quick, so nutritious. No animals were harmed. I really want to.
And here's one you prepared earlier. I was just watching that thinking, God, I love mashed potatoes.
Oh, I do.
Oh, right, come on then, Brenda. What's the verdict?
I like it. I like it, and I'm going to get that recipe off of Colleen and cook it later.
What are we thinking, Olivia?
I really like it. It still tastes like meaty. It doesn't taste
That's what I mean. And I was trying to figure out what it was. The soy sauce, I think.
Very good.
adds something and that.
All the details on the Loose Women website. Nice. That's it for today. Brenda and I are going to be back along tomorrow alongside Frankie and Gloria. Plus, we'll be joined by the iconic Sir Cliff Richard as they celebrate 65 years in the industry. Have a lovely afternoon.